in 1/3 of the districts of India, 200 out of 600 districts. We have the most alienated segment of India's society, the tribals, getting up and posing a challenge to what hitherto had been an axiom, that development is desirable. These people are saying, no, development is not desirable, development is destructive. And because they fear that development is destructive, and they are not going to get the benefits, not only immediately but even in the long run, of the use of forest wealth, be it the minerals under the ground or the timber above the ground, they are beginning to say basta. And as a result of this, we have an insurgency in at least 1 or 2 of the police stations of some 200 districts of India. And I think the only way of meeting this challenge is not just through security measures, which are of course necessary, but much more importantly, by showing in each of these districts that we are ready to devolve functions, finances and functionaries to the local communities so that they're able to run their own affairs. And I think the minute people in the non-Maoist areas see that large sums of money are coming in for deployment by the people's elected representatives themselves, they'll cease being the water in which the guerrilla fish are swimming. And that we have to combine whatever stringent security measures are being currently taken with a form of participative development rather than advocating aggressive development. We have POSCO from South Africa, South Korea, waiting to undertake the single biggest investment that South Korea has undertaken anywhere in the world, to build a huge steel complex in Orissa. But the people there are objecting that you require iron ore for that, and for you to mine the iron ore, where do we stand, where do we go? And the arguments so far brought forward about how they could participate in this high trajectory of growth have not proved at all persuasive, and that is why we have this kind of a trouble. And this is being added to by the Tatas, by SR, by Mittal, all these people saying that we'll ensure that the Indian rate of growth remains at 10 or 12%, but subject only to our being able to access resources which inevitably involve the disruption of community life. And I don't think we'll ever be able to trickle down to these people at the bottom the kind of increases in income and wealth which would justify this form of development. And the only way we could really co-opt them into the development pattern that we have, the development strategy that we've got, is to be able to tell them that their access to their entitlements, I'm not talking about their privileges, their entitlements of public goods and services is going to be assured by leaving it to them, to themselves, access this kind of a thing. And therefore my book does argue very passionately that we must get back to understanding that it is the absence of a strong, do come in Tim, right in front of the place. Thank you very much. That's Tim Sebastian, and thank you for joining us. I was just saying that what we therefore need to do is to not be content with being the largest democracy in the world or with widening the spread of our democracy. We also need to deepen that democracy. For the best answer to the challenges to democracy is to become more democratic and not less democratic. The situation in some senses is very exciting and very grim. The latest set of statistics put out by the Arjun Sen Gupta committee, which have been tabled in Parliament and not challenged since, and therefore could be reliable, is that India does have 259 million Indians in the rich, in the middle and high income category. That is to say, these 259 millions have some money to spend on consumer goods and even on white goods. And that is what makes us such an attractive market. And